So I assumed that he was on a pitch count, or maybe he re-aggravated some injury, whatever. But by the end of the game, they had 4 of their 5 offensive linemen who were not starters. And you still couldn't beat them. So, like, the full context of the game is pretty frustrating. I thought there were a lot of individuals who stood out. One guy who jumped out to me, a guy who played college football here last year, Quinshad Judkins is a really good running back for them. In fact, I was kind of shocked that he had as many carries as he did, because I was watching that game. I'm like, I feel like he's getting taken out all the time when he's hot. They're putting in Jerome Ford. I'm like, you don't need to. But Browns fans still, and I wonder what their takeaway is from Dylan Gabriel, because I thought that there wasn't really much there either.
And we'll talk about the Browns a little more in depth later on. Dylan Gabriel's first start didn't do anything really to make you think he can't handle it, but didn't really do anything to stand out. Maybe that was scheme. Maybe that was protecting him a little bit. Maybe that was that the Minnesota Vikings have a really good defense too, led by Brian Flores, who's one of the best defensive coordinators in football there is. But I think the biggest thing is these are games that good NFL franchises find a way to win. The Browns more often than not lose them, unfortunately.
Yeah, and so I do think a lot of that was scheme with Gabriel, because it looked like a lot of quick stuff. But again, every single thing that we can say about the Browns and what adversity they were facing, they're on their number 2 quarterback of the season. Well, guess what? So was Minnesota. And Carson Wentz got banged up there at the end of the first half too. So, yeah, like you said, that's one of those where it's like, when it's gut check time, what kind of organization are you? Well, the Browns are one who are, struggling a little bit, and that's putting it lightly. A team that we didn't have any expectations for. So not a great way to start your Sunday if you're a Browns fan.
No, it wasn't. And unfortunately, there's a lot of Sundays like that as the Browns, I believe, they head into their bye with a record of 1-4. A lot of NFL going on right now. We'll get into that as the day goes on. The Buckeyes cementing their spot as the number 1 team in the country, 5-0. They hammer Minnesota on Saturday night. We will start talking about that when we come back. It's Fan Sports Sunday on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Ready for your next truck? At Krieger Ford, we have just what you're looking for. Trade in your vehicle and get a new Ford F-150 with a black appearance package for $11,000 off MSRP. It's all part of the Krieger commitment. Best cars, best people, peace of mind. Visit us today on Morris Road in Columbus, or find your new truck at KriegerFord.com.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and a multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I cannot imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
College is great. You know what else is great? Pizza, which you can buy with your Huntington Bank debit card with the Ohio State University logo. Huntington Bank is proud to be the official consumer bank of the Ohio State University. Let's get more for money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on the team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Don't miss the Right Rug Flooring Outlet Super Sale. Save up to 80% on truckloads of floors and more, including tiles starting at 19 cents a square foot and a massive selection of carpet, luxury vinyl, laminate, and hardwood, even installation supplies. Everything you need for your next project. Save up to 80% during the Right Rug Flooring Outlet Super Sale on Poth Road in Whitehall. Hurry, the Outlet Super Sale ends September 30th. Dealers welcome.
Hello, big voice guy here. I've been hired to tell you all about the Fan's YouTube channel. Did you know you can immerse yourself in Buckeye goodness like Austin and Burb's daily podcast, The Beat? Yes, sirree, Bob. Subscribe today.
Our double hung is as good as it gets. There's something really simple. It's called an interlock. We interlock our windows. The interlock is the absolute best way to alleviate air infiltration. With the interlock, it's harder to break into. When you interlock the sashes, it makes a better window. It's just a darn good window, and we're very proud of it.
Visit Rosati Windows by the end of this month and get 35% off all windows and doors.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
The football season now stretches from August to late January, and we can't afford not to be at our very best all season. Hey guys, it's Eric Reeser, and if you're like me, looking at the calendar wondering how you're going to stay at 100% for the next 5 months, do what I did. Go see my friends at Hydrate Me Med Spa. I went to their Grandview location, got hooked up with a fast vitamin push that's got me feeling better than I have in years, and the NAD Plus has me thinking better too. From IV to aesthetic treatments, look great, feel great at Hydrate Me Med Spa. 4 locations, Grandview, Granville, New Albany, and Dublin. Book your appointment at HydrateMeMedSpa.com.
What's better than cheering the Buckeyes on to victory? Wearing our exclusive collection of OSU jewelry as you watch. Hi, this is Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. We're an officially licensed jeweler of The Ohio State University, and we've created beautiful Buckeye jewelry that will last a lifetime. From Blocko earrings to Diamond Script Ohio necklaces, we've got luxury Buckeye gifts starting at $99. No matter where you're watching, show your Buckeye love at the Diamond Cellar, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The regular season is getting closer. A new goal, a new challenge, a new season. Blue Jackets hockey comes your way in 4 days. Proud to be your flagship home for the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Enjoy all the football this weekend, but remember to join us for Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. Get Eco.
ECO.
Hey, Aaron, I invented a way to make sure people's furnaces are safe.
Do you test high temperature, flame rollout, flame limit, and flame proving?
Yeah, no one wants to set their house on fire.
Do you inspect the heat exchanger?
Yeah, no one wants a house full of carbon monoxide.
We already do all that for just $89.
Yeah, but my price is just $88.
Okay, so $88 will be the new price for a furnace safety check.
Get Eco.
ECO.
I also invented a cool new name for it.
Okay.
I call it the Super Safety Check.
What makes it super?
Well, it costs $1 less, and it has super in the name.
Should I start calling you Super Jerry?
The Super Jerry Super Safety Check. I like it.
Get Eco to safety check your furnace.
Or, for $1 less, you can get the Super Jerry Super Safety Check.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement, and that starts with the team who brings your vision to life. Our installers aren't just skilled, they're experts.
This is who we are. This is what we do all day, every day.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate, or go to bathsrus.com, 380-225-2284. That's R Us, where dreams soak in.
Realtors usually charge you 6% to sell your house, but not my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They take 1%. It's in the name. And this is full service. No shortcuts, no for sale by owner crapola. They do it all. Call 614-451-6616.
Looking to get your roof or siding replaced this fall? Call the company that delivers an excellent customer experience every time. Newman Roofing. Don't wait. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
At Kroger Pharmacy, we make it easy to get flu, COVID, and RSV vaccines. They're available at no cost to you with most insurance plans. No appointment needed. And we're open weekdays, weeknights, and weekends. So come and visit us when it's most convenient for you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Vaccines subject to availability. No cost to you with most insurance plans. Check with your plan for eligibility. Restrictions and exclusions may apply. See site for details.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus, The Fan.
Good afternoon, I'm Nate Pooterball. The Browns headed out to London this morning, but they're coming home without a win. The Browns lost to the Vikings 21-17 when Carson Wentz tossed a last-minute touchdown pass to Jordan Addison. Dylan Gabriel went 19-33 for 190 yards and 2 TDs in his NFL debut, and Quinshon Judkins added 110 yards on 23 carries. The Bengals try to get back on track at home this afternoon at 4:25 against the Detroit Lions. The Buckeyes stay on top of the latest AP poll after taking apart Minnesota 42-3 last night. Big nights for Julian Zayn and Cardinal Tate. Zayn went 23-27 for 326 yards and 3 TDs, while Tate had a career-high 9 receptions for 183 yards and a TD. Miami jumped up to number 2 in the latest AP poll. Oregon, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M round out the top 5. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Garnish your Bloody Mary with sports talk. You're listening to Fan Sports Sunday.
So to be second and goal at the Minnesota 1. Nate Roberts, C.J. Donaldson, I formation. 2 tight ends on the right, 1 Kaczmarek on the left. Julian Sain under center, Carson Hinsman. Hands it again, Donaldson it again. Left side, he goes into the end zone for the touchdown. So it's a 1-yarder rather than a 2-yarder. Same result. Ohio State ahead 6-3.
And at that point, the route was on Ohio State 42-3. They knock off Minnesota Saturday night. I got to give P.J. Fleck and his offensive coaching staff a lot of credit.
A lot.
Because that first drive of the game, they went right down the field on Ohio State. They had a perfect game plan scripted for whatever Ohio State came out in defense that night and did. They went right down the field. Unfortunately, when you get in the red zone, that field shortens, and Ohio State hasn't given up a red zone touchdown all year defensively. But that was it for Minnesota. That was the highlights of the game. It was all Buckeyes after that.
So any nerves whatsoever after that? Because I will say, heading into this game, I almost thought this kind of became trap gamey because Illinois wasn't sneaking up on anybody because they were hiding in plain sight. Everybody saw them because everybody was talking about them preseason as, oh, they could be this year's Indiana, blah, blah, blah. Their ranking was high. They got blown out by Indiana, but they're still ranked. I think that the new AP poll, which we'll talk about later in the show, I think Illinois comes in at 17. So Illinois is not a trap game. In fact, it's actually a pretty big game, especially being in Champaign. And then I thought that all of the discussion preceding the Washington game kind of sucked all the trap game value out of that. Because, Damon Williams, and he looks like Kyler Murray, and we're hearing about Heisman Trophy comparisons the entire time. I actually thought that heading to the Minnesota game, that was the game that nobody cared about to the point where it almost became a trap game sandwiched in between Washington and Illinois. But, again, after that opening drive, who cares? It was just sheer dominance.
So I had no worry about a trap game at all in this because I don't know why all week I felt like this was going to be a lot like the OU game. I just felt like it would be a game that maybe you started off a little slow, but by the end of the game, you've easily covered. It's about a 30-point win. I think I picked it 38-7. Shame on me for saying somebody could get 7 points on this Ohio State defense right now.
Yeah.
So I never thought that. I did think it was interesting. That's the most success we've really seen anybody have on this Ohio State defense.
And funny enough, OU is actually the team that scored the most points against this defense with 9.
With the 9, yeah. So that's how I kind of felt this game was. I think Ohio State, the way their schedule's set up, and Bo has talked about this a lot on Bishop and Friends throughout the season. He has said this schedule kind of sets up perfect because you've got everyone's attention right away.
Yep.
With Texas. And then you had Grambling game to kind of work on some kinks, get some guys in rhythm. Then you had OU where you could do that again. Then you headed into a bye, and coming out of the bye, you had a pretty decent matchup with Washington, your first road test. Then you have this game with Minnesota, but another big test on the horizon going to Illinois next week. So you know, if there was anything you needed to work on coming out of Washington, you could to get ready for this matchup with Illinois. Then you've got Wisconsin on the road. If there was ever a trap game, it could be that one to me, because Wisconsin can be a tough environment to play. Wisconsin's garbage, though. They're terrible this year. It is so bad up in Madison. I can't believe Luke's still there, quite frankly, other than it'd be a lot to get him out of there. But then you have a bye after that. So it's like, hey, guys, you got to get through this. Let's give full effort to Wisconsin, and then we can go on a bye. And then, of course, you know what's out of the bye. And some of the luster in that game has kind of come off now.
Oh, my gosh. Has
Penn
it ever?
State.
That game has lost so much luster, it might be a night game now.
It's pretty sad. I don't think it's going to be that, but it's pretty sad there with that, with what happened with Penn State and UCLA. Although, I don't know, some people may really like that. Some people may be enjoying and bathing in James Franklin's tears. I'm not sure. So I think this schedule has set up so well that it kind of prevents the trap game almost.
Yeah, and so looking at their schedule now, we're kind of at the point, once we get past this Illinois game, it really clears up basically until the Michigan game. You have, beyond Illinois, you have 3 straight games against opponents who have yet to win a Big Ten conference game. Your game after that is an opponent who has won a Big Ten conference game, but it's UCLA, and that's the only game that they've won this season, so I'm not even willing to count them. And then after that, it's Rutgers, who, again, stop me if you've heard this before, has not won a conference game yet. So in between Illinois and Michigan is a total cakewalk of a conference schedule. So you're set up there. And then the thing about it, too, I was watching this Minnesota game, and I'm like, Ryan Day doesn't seem like the type of coach to fall into any trap game stuff. Like, everybody remembers Urban Meyer and how they would win a bunch of big-time games, and then there'd be one mysterious one on the schedule, the Iowa game, Purdue game, whatever, where it's just like, what the hell just happened there? It's like, that team wasn't as good as Ohio State. Ryan Day just, the trap game isn't there. Because, and look, every single team, college, pro, whatever, you're going to have a best game of your season at some point, and you're going to have a worst game of your season at some point. I think we know when that worst game of the season has been showing up in recent years, but it hasn't been the Minnesotas of the world. It hasn't been like the Wisconsin, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers. I don't think any of those line up as any sort of like shock value. So here, I'm not to just jump ahead of ourselves, but Illinois, Penn State, Michigan, there's your 3-game schedule the rest of the year.
Yep, until you get to a Big Ten Conference championship game, hopefully, where an Ohio State-Oregon game, it probably is the 2 best teams in the country right now.
I'll give Miami a shout in that one.
I mean, Miami's there, right? They're in the discussion, but I don't think let me say this. I think Ohio State-Oregon, the 2 most talented teams in the country.
Perhaps.
Let me say that. Athlete for athlete wise, the Ohio State team, you've had some questions this year. Not a lot, but some. Red zone, can you punch it in the red zone? And big plays. Where are the big plays? It seemed like Ohio State heard that, and they answered those in this Minnesota game. What a game from Carnell Tate in this one. Big-time game from him, 183 yards, 9 catches, I believe it was, on the game for him. I actually have it right here, so let me just see. Yeah, 9 catches, 183 yards in that touchdown. Jeremiah Smith, 7 catches, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. Max Clare, 5 catches, 63 yards. I think Julian had 4 completions, over 30 yards in this one. So it seems like if we ever have questions about this Ohio State team, what about this? Well, you get the answer in the next game. What about this? You get the answer in the next game. The 2 things you kind of thought about with this team so far were red zone efficiency and then big playability, and they checked both of those boxes this week.
And I'll give you an interesting little detail on Carnell Tate. Obviously, huge game statistically. The Texas game was a big game for him as well with the double catch touchdown that he had in traffic. That was a huge play, really kicked off his season. There's a website that keeps a database of all of the mock drafts I shouldn't say all the mock drafts, because if you and I made a mock draft, there's no way they'd ever hear about it. But whoever they deem to be important people on the internet and stuff and columnists, all these mock drafts, they collect a database and they come up with a consensus. So as of right now, the consensus 2026 mock draft has Carnell Tate getting drafted 23rd overall. And as of this week, that is the Cleveland Browns Jacksonville Jaguars pick.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That wouldn't be bad.
And so if you weren't exactly thrilled with no Browns receiver having a catch until the 2-minute warning in the first half, you may be getting some receiver help if any of these mock drafts are any indication in Carnell Tate.
Carnell Tate, never the number one receiver on his team in college, would step right into being the number one receiver on his team in the pros if that was the case. Kind of almost like a Mecca right now in Tampa Bay. Ryan Day, how did he feel about the performance on Saturday night? We will hear from your head coach coming up next. It's Fan Sports Sunday on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Feeling stuck on your own 10-yard line in the career game? Maybe it's time to just go for IT. My Computer Career has the game plan to score a rewarding new IT career in months. Whether you're a rookie, a breakout career changer, or a military veteran ready to serve. Why spend years chasing a college degree when you can fast-track your future in IT starting now? Take your mark, get set, go for IT. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Buckeye fans, introducing Behind the O, the brand new app packed with original athlete and fan-driven Ohio State sports content. It's free to download in the App Store on iOS and Android, and every time you open it, you're helping generate NIL dollars for your favorite Buckeye athletes with zero cost to you. Get exclusive access to fresh behind-the-scenes videos, training routines, athlete lifestyles, and more from every Ohio State sport. Don't wait. Download Behind the O now and get closer to your Buckeyes than ever before.
Behind the O, free for fans, NIL for athletes. The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more. People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to VanscoyHair.com for more info or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life. There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron, I invented a way to make sure people's furnaces are safe.
Do you test high temperature, flame rollout, flame limit, and flame proving?
Yeah, no one wants to set their house on fire.
Do you inspect the heat exchanger?
Yeah. No one wants a house full of carbon monoxide.
We already do all that for just $89.
Yeah, but my price is just $88.
Okay, so $88 will be the new price for a furnace safety check.
Get Eco.
ECO. I also invented a cool new name for it.
Okay.
I call it the Super Safety Check.
What makes it super?
Well, it costs $1 less, and it has super in the name.
Should I start calling you Super Jerry?
The Super Jerry Super Safety Check. I like it.
Get Eco to safety check your furnace.
Or, for $1 less, you can get the Super Jerry Super Safety Check.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
Now at Great Lakes Hyundai, lease a new 2026 Hyundai Tucson SE for just $189 a month. You heard it, $189. Plus get owner assurance and America's best warranty. 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Only at Great Lakes Hyundai, Columbus or Dublin, or GLakesHyundai.com. With approved credit, $39.95 down plus taxes, fees, first month payment, 10 miles per year, ends 11/3.
Taking out the trash. Hey, Columbus, this is Zach Bourne.
And Jacoby Bourne.
When it comes to waste service, you want a team that knows how to deliver under pressure, just like Saturdays in the fall.
At Bourne Brothers Waste Services, our team is built on toughness, teamwork, and consistent execution.
We're the most reliable and customer service-focused waste company in Central Ohio.
Whether it is recycling, trash, construction waste, roll-off containers, front loads, or compactors, we have it handled.
Call now or visit bournebrothers.com and let us tackle your waste needs. Taking out the trash.
Other stations in town have started using AI voices. It's because they're cheap and they think you're stupid. Well, we may think you're stupid, but we don't think you're cheap, damn it. We're live and local with real people. The Fan, Ohio's real human destination. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. Sunny skies Sunday with temperatures in the mid-80s. We'll be back into the mid-80s again Monday with more sunshine, rain chances, and cooler temperatures move through as we head through Tuesday, wrapping up Wednesday with highs that drop to the 60s. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Live, local, and still slightly drunk.
I'm not drunk, all right? I just have a speech impediment.
This is Fan Sports Sunday.
Will Kazmarek was wide to the left. He'll motion now behind the right guard, and Julian Sand, the quarterback, will get under center. And fakes a handoff, fakes a reverse pitch, looks to throw, pulls the trigger, goes deep down the right side. Wide open, Tate in the end zone, score! 44 yards through the air. Julian Sand to Carnell Tate, who got behind corner Zaquan Bryan. And in the air and into the end zone goes Ohio State, leading 20-3.
That was a big play to Carnell Tate in the game last night. Again, 9 catches, 183 yards, and that touchdown for Carnell Tate in the game. It was a pretty complete performance from this Buckeye team. Ryan Day, after the game, had some good comments. I thought he had some interesting comments, and we'll get to some more of them later. It seemed like everybody in this game, we've talked about the defense so much this year, it seemed like he was asked a lot about the offense after the game, and rightly so, because we talked about some of those questions that were answered on the offensive side of the ball with that game yesterday. He was, though, immediately after the game, he joined Paul and Jim, and he was asked about the defensive performance.
Yeah, 162 yards, especially after that first drive, 1 for 11 on third down. I thought they played well, and, just can't say enough about the effort. Guys just, flying around, throwing their bodies around. There's a lot of good things to teach off of here and get better at, but they played hard again, and again, held them to 3 points. What can you say?
Cole, I thought it was interesting. Drake Lindsey, the quarterback for Minnesota, started the game 7 of 7. He was 8 of 19 the rest of the way.
Well, first of all, Ryan Day was being a total wet blanket and what sounded like a great party going on behind him, and he just had a total depressed vocal tone going on. He wanted no part of that. But great party going on behind him, it sounded like. But, I mean, yeah, man, this defense is super talented. It was a defense that I had questions about. Well, I mean, I had questions about the whole team because I'm watching the NFL draft this past April, and I'm like, they got a lot of guys going. And with every guy that was going off the board and 4 first-rounders and a bunch of guys in the second round, and I'm like, who's going to be on this team next year? Not a lot of experienced guys, and it's just not a problem.
8 starters gone.
Yeah. And offensive line lost a ton of talent. Not a problem. Like, forwards, backwards, offense, defense, whatever. They've done such a good job. And I know that, because we were talking in the pre-show, that you feel, and you were not the only one, who thinks that this year's team is better than last year's team, which is so crazy to say out loud because they won a national championship. But they're playing at such a dominant level right now, opening the season against a Texas team who, I guess we got to ask some questions about them and their legitimacy. But the rest of the schedule, we just went over in the last segment. It's like we can't even really fathom any losses leading into the Michigan game, and then let the chips fall where they may in that one. But this team's firing on all cylinders right now. Arvell Reese is somebody who is just taking everybody by storm, and he's getting a lot of national attention now. He's not just somebody who, you know, the local media is paying attention to, and hey, watch out for Arvell Reese. Like, he's a name that people know, and he's making plays on Saturdays.
Did you
regularly.
see Dane Brugler's tweet earlier this week about Arvell Reese?
No.
Somebody asked Dane Brugler if Arvell Reese was a top 15 pick in this coming draft. And he went on to say all the things that NFL teams love about Arvell Reese, the length, the athleticism, the speed, all of that stuff. He said, and this is a quote from Dane Brugler.
Dane Brugler, I'll look him up and make sure you're right.
Don't be surprised if Arvell Reese is the first Buckeye off the board. Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Over Caleb? That's a statement.
Well, I agree, and I would not think that he's getting drafted higher than Caleb, even though I know it's hard for safeties to get drafted high in the NFL draft.
Yeah, that's position bias. There's position bias in that. But, I mean, also, Arvell Reese, I mean, I know that he can line up on, like, the edge and, like a pass rush, third down sort of package, but predominantly between the tackles, linebacker, that's also a position that gets biased against them in the draft. So that's hard for me to say, just because Caleb Downs will have 3 years of college stock. Being a true freshman starter at Alabama into this past year and now into this season, where it's just, that's 3 years of consistency where if I were drafting, and I don't know if this matters to the scouts or them as much as it does just to us as fans and the way that we talk about it, but I think Caleb Downs would be the safer pick. Granted, it sounds like Dave didn't predict it. He just said
don't be surprised.
Yeah, it won't knock him out if he sees that happen.
And listen, this guy is the head draft analyst for The Athletic for a reason. He's usually spot on a lot of these things. I don't think that's happening either. I think Caleb Downs is a guy that is an enigma, right? And at the safety position, he's a guy that I still think somebody would take in the top 5 of this draft. He definitely isn't getting out of the top 10. It's just high praise for Arvell Reese, a guy who didn't start a football game before this year. I mean, it's pretty impressive what he's been able to do.
Is there any FOMO with that? It's like, we only get this guy for 1 year?
It is a bummer, but I mean, that's college sports, right?
Yeah.
You can have the FOMO with that, but then you think, wow, we still get another year at Jeremiah Smith.
Basically. But, I mean, hey,
I think that's a good trade-off. No offense to Arvell Reese.
Yeah.
I'll take that trade.
But even Peyton Pierce is seeing decent time. He's rotating in as a true freshman, and so it's like, hey, man,
Riley
got guys.
Pettijohn, I don't think they're going to be hurting at the linebacker position.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Next year, even
it's
though
Ohio
they're probably
State.
going
I'm
to
sure
lose
they'll have
too.
good players.
Let's get back to the offensive side of the ball now with Coach Day. We played the catch from Carnell Tate there at the beginning. Here's him talking about Jeremiah and Carnell and just how unselfish these dudes are.
No, I agree, and I think it says a lot about Carnell. Carnell does a lot of dirty work around here, and to see him have a breakout game like that says a lot about him. But, Jeremiah Smith, to me, is the best offensive player in college football. And, you talk about unselfishness because, there's a lot of coverage. He was the decoy on one of the fake reverse, the touchdown. But that's been Carnell. So they work off of each other, and they're unselfish. So I think, that is what we need to be the best team, is unselfishness, because selfishness can creep in and you can start worrying about touches and different things, and I get it. But these guys haven't done that, and that gives us a chance. It gives us a chance to have the best team, and I think it's a great example of guys, understanding that they got to do some of the heavy lifting. They got to do the blocking. They got to do those things as Julian's growing, and now you're seeing some breakout games, and they're building his confidence as well.
One of my favorite Buckeyes of all time has been and always will be Chris Olave, because there wasn't anything on the football field that Olave didn't do well. You asked him to play special teams. He did it at a high level. You asked him to block. He did it at a high level. You asked him to catch the football. He did it at a high level. And I've always kind of felt like Carnell Tate, he might be a little more explosive than Olave, but Olave might be a little more smooth and refined. But I feel like Carnell Tate, you could ask him to do any. I feel like you could ask him to play offensive tackle, and there'd obviously be limitations because of the size, but I feel like he would do it well. Like he would go out there and give you his all.
He may give you his all. I don't think it'll go well if you line him up at left tackle. Go ahead and try that, and let's see how that works out. I think another little similar detail in the story of both Chris Olave and Carnell Tate is that they were both overshadowed by another receiver on their team. Not to rehash maybe a 2021 Ohio State topic, but I always felt that Garrett Wilson was the better receiver between the two of those. I was actually surprised that they went as closely together as they did. I believe it was...
They were back-to-back.
Garrett went 10th. Chris Olave went 11th.
And then Jamison
went 12th. Yeah. And so I always thought Garrett was a little bit better. Maybe it was because he played a little bit earlier as a true freshman. Maybe it was the Clemson Stairway to Heaven catch that he had in the Fiesta Bowl. But I also think that is just an interesting detail. And so the scouts, the people who are putting together mock drafts don't seem to be missing Carnell Tate. He's definitely jumping off the screen. This game did a lot to help him. The Texas game did a lot to help him. And so I imagine that somewhere in the first round, probably near the back end of the first round, you're probably going to hear Carnell Tate's name called in April of 2026.
How good, by the way, also just a little revisionist history, was the wide receiver room that Ohio State had at the end of that 2022 season when they beat Utah in the Rose Bowl. You had Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Egbuka, all first-round picks.
That's incredible.
And all playing decently well in the NFL.
And you know what? I think Jameson Williams...
He transferred out before that year.
What year?
He was on the year before, the 21 team.
You're
he had
right.
moved on to Alabama.
You're so right about that, because the reason that Jackson Smith and Jigba had such a good game in that Rose Bowl is because Olave and Wilson sat out of the game, which would have meant that Jameson Williams had been at Alabama at that time. You're correct about that.
We talked a little bit about the wide receivers. Ryan Day also talked about this offense and said that it wouldn't be working without the accuracy of Julian Sayin.
I thought some of the throws downfield were very, very accurate, made good decisions. Again, saw it well. But, when you can be accurate underneath and get the ball out quick, but then also down the field, that's when our offense can really be clicking on all cylinders. So we're going to watch this film and see some things that we're frustrated with. We know where we need to go and got to keep getting better. You keep hearing me talk about that because that's just the way it goes. You have to upgrade every week. But I do think that Julian's confidence is building, and I think his teammates, their confidence in him have continued to build over time. And again, I give the offensive line credit for working and straining to give him time back there. I give the running backs credit for their protection and also the receivers for their work every day in practice, because that's how it works. That's how teams get better. And so we have to continue to recognize that, because it's not normal. And that, to me, is what's going to make the difference for where we need to be.
Julian Sayin Saturday night, 23 of 27, 326 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Is that all?
Through 5 starts in his college football career, 101 of 126, and 80.2 completion percentage. That's tops in college football. 1,313 yards, 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. This dude started 5 games in college football. Man, his ceiling is awful high.
Are we reaching a point where we could see both Jeremiah and Julian in New York this December?
No.
Who's definitively top 5 better than them right now?
At receiver or in college football?
In college football.
I don't think you're going to see both of them at the Heisman, but I think Dante Moore, Carson Beck, John Mateer, maybe if he comes back healthy, could get in there.
Missing 3 or 4 games is going to be a little hard with that, though.
Kind of depends on Texas Tech. If they continue to roll, if they roll through this Big 12 schedule, you probably see Baron Morton there, but it's...
Let me pull up
Listen, Sayin's also a redshirt freshman, so the chances of him are getting there. I think most people are going to vote Jeremiah if they're voting an Ohio State player, so he's not going to get enough votes, but it's interesting.
Dante Moore for sure. Ty Simpson,
if they continue to roll. They have a brutal schedule here, though.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what happens with Alabama there. But
hey, it's good.
No way.
It's good questions to have when you've got a first-year starting quarterback, that if maybe that could happen. That means that through 5 games, he is playing pretty well. With the win on Saturday, Ryan Day became a leader all-time in college football in one stat. We'll tell you what that is in 2 minutes on The Fan.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront cost before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
Bobby Carpenter demands that you watch Morning Juice on YouTube. If you don't, Tito will move into your house.
Live at 6 a.m. on YouTube and streaming on the Fan app.
During weekend programming, pants are optional.
Look at my butt!
However, leather chairs may have been a bad choice. You're listening to Fan Sports Sunday.
Yes, you are. Ryan Baker, Cole Bartemes, Nate Footerball here with you. Glad to have you along on this Fan Sports Sunday. We'll take you up to 5 o'clock. That's when the Gridiron Game Day crew will take over, and they will take you up to Sunday Night Football this evening. The Bills and the Patriots in an AFC East matchup. Have you guys seen the uniforms the Bills are wearing tonight? These, what are they, cold frost uniforms or cold front uniforms?
It looks like it. So they got the all whites, and then everything is so. Honestly, it kind of looks like a Raiders derivative.
It looks so good.
They got silver numerals, silver logos on their helmets, silver stripes in the pants, and all that stuff. But you got to be wearing this on a day that isn't a high of 82 in Orchard Park. Okay, it's 82 degrees right now. Now, it'll be 67 by game time, so it'll feel really cold, relatively speaking. But you got to wear this in, like, December, man. You can't be breaking these out on October 5th.
Well, I believe this is part of the NFL rivalry series with these jerseys. And so, you know, Patriots Sunday Night Football, I guess it works. But
that well-known Bills-Patriots rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a good one throughout the years. Come on now. There's been some clunkers, but it's been pretty good. I don't know if the Bills have a bad uniform, quite frankly. I feel like I like just about everything they trot out there. I love that the final game in, Highmark Stadium, the old Ralph Wilson this year, they're going to bring the red helmets back.
Red helmets
I love
are coming
that.
back,
That's pretty cool. But, yeah, those uniforms tonight that the Bills are wearing are going to be pretty awesome. What else is awesome is Ryan Day's winning percentage as head coach here at Ohio State. He's in his 7th season as the head man for the Buckeyes. In 85 games, he has 75 wins. So that's a 75-10 record. His winning percentage of 88.2% is now tops in college football history, topping out your guy. Well, this was before your time, but old Notre Dame head coach Newt Rockne, who has a winning percentage of 88.1. Now, It is not officially recognized, Cole. Newt Rockne for Notre Dame is still the all-time winning percentage leader because to be eligible for it, you have had to coach for 10 seasons, which Ryan Day is obviously short of that. But regardless, that's a hell of a record.
So I need Ryan Day to be coaching somewhere else after year 9 is what I need for...
Head to the NFL then? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. I mean, dude, this goes back to what we were talking about. Like, the trap game type stuff, that's just not Ryan Day's style. Like, he works around it. But there was a hell of a quote, and I'm sure we'll play it later in the show in the post-game presser, that really hammers home the point that he ain't messing around. Like, just because it's an opponent that he knows that they're way more talented than, everybody knows it. We certainly all know it watching TV. They're not messing around. And he doesn't let the little things slide. And I wholly believe you got to have a worst game of the season at some point. But he doesn't play down to the level of his opponents. And that's something that can be really frustrating for any team that has a head coach who can do that. For example, like Brian Kelly at Notre Dame. And for example, Brian Kelly at LSU. Brian Kelly has this thing where the week after a big win lays an egg. And so you're going to be in like a 1-score game with a terrible opponent that you have no business fooling around with. And watching him at Notre Dame all those years, I'm like, we just beat the crap out of some really good team last week, and now we're messing around like we didn't even show up this week. James Franklin, is UCLA better than Penn State? No. He probably let Oregon beat him twice. Ryan Day doesn't let those games sort of carry over like that. And so I don't know when the worst game of the season is going to happen for Ohio State. Maybe it was the Texas game because that was a pretty slow game. But that doesn't shock me at all when you say that, because that's pretty fitting to Ryan Day's reputation in Columbus since, I guess, 2019 was the first year.
And we talk about that Texas game, right? Like, Ryan Day coached that game to win the game. He didn't want to lose that game, right? He coached it. He did just enough. Like, don't take any unnecessary risks. Do what you have to do. Rely on your defense and let them win the game. And I feel like that's what he's done for the most part this year. You did see them open it up a little bit. They tried a trickery on a punt return in this game, which we'll talk about a little later as well, too. But Ryan Day has done just what he's had to do so far this year, enough to what he had to do to think that he could win the game, and it's working so far. After the game, Steve Hellwagon of Bucknuts asked Ryan Day about passing Newt Rockne, and they had a fun little exchange.
Yeah, Coach, the Ohio State Notes, not sure you're aware of this, said with your win tonight, you've eclipsed the winning percentage of Newt Rockne, who is the all-time winningest coach percentage-wise in college football history. You don't qualify because you don't have 10 years in yet, but you're on the right path, it seems. Just what do you attribute 7 years of this and where you're at right now?
I'm glad you brought that up because this is the last game I'll ever be coaching at Ohio State. I'm going to hang it up, and that's it. I'm going to do a walk-off right now. I appreciate being the coach here. No, a long way to go. It's, it has everything to do with the players, the coach in this place. But it's when you recognize how long some of those coaches coached and you recognize, what they went through and, the seasons and the different changes, you just can appreciate how long they coached. And, some of these seasons here are like dog years at Ohio State, but I'm just fortunate to be here, and I know what the obligation is. I know what the expectation is, and so do these players and coaches. So we'll just keep swinging away.
Ryan Day has taken a lot of criticism over his time at Ohio State, and some of it has been fair, but the numbers are extremely ridiculous for him. And listen, it is hard to coach at Ohio State, and it is hard to do it when you've never been a head coach before. So we saw all of Ryan Day's head coaching growing pains on the biggest scale here at Ohio State. But the fact is, it seems like he is pressing all of the right buttons right now. And the numbers don't lie. He's never lost more than 2 games in a season. He's had at least 11 wins in every full season. 50-1 against unranked teams, 48-5 in the Big Ten Conference. And unfortunately for him, and that's going to be the next hurdle he needs to clear, 4 of those losses are to one team. And we all know who that team is. We don't need to mention it. 7 of his 10 losses have been to teams in the top 5. So to your point, Cole, most of the time, pretty much every time but one, there's been no clunker where you've lost to a team that was definitively not as good as you, and that was a rivalry game. One loss to an unranked team. His other losses, we mentioned 7 of them in the top 5. The other 2 to a 9th-ranked team in the country and a 12th-ranked team in the country.
Yeah, the funny thing about this is, do you think Ohio State fans who probably enjoy hearing this stat on the radio right now, do you think that they would enjoy hearing this stat if they didn't win the national championship last year?
It's a great point, a great question to ask.
Because it's hilarious. They'd be like, I don't want to hear about that. We're the big one.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. And so now, and the funny thing about that, too, is that I do think that buys you some stock, like wherever you are, Columbus, Tuscaloosa, Athens, wherever you're coaching, whichever sport you're coaching. If you win a championship, I think that buys you a little bit of grace for the next few years, because no matter how good you are, the same team just can't win every single year. That's not how sports works. But the funny thing about it is that Ohio State is actually so good this year that forget the whole, oh, he got the monkey off the back thing. It's like Buckeye fans should be in championship mode right here, right now again. Like, I know it's easy for the team to do so because it's their job. Like, they got to show up and they got to, tear down the championship. Hey, we don't want the banners hanging up in the Woody, and, we don't want that. This is a new team. Like, they can do that stuff, but, like, even the fan base at this point should really be in the mindset of, like, holy cow, like, we can go back to back. And that's not just, like, if a few things break our way. Like, you're in the driver's seat for that. And you're watching everybody else around you crumble. Texas and Penn State were 1 and 2 in the country heading into this year. And
no more.
No. And they both have 2 losses.
They're not even ranked right now.
Yeah, both of them fell out of the rankings. And so it's like, it's not just a fact of, Ohio State, they're replacing a lot, and maybe they're better than we thought they would be if you had told us, hey, you're going to be losing all of these starters on both sides of the ball, but you're going to be an undefeated team thus far in the season. It's one thing to say that, but it's another thing to see it and be like, holy cow, Ohio State looks really, really good. And then couple that with everybody else around them. Like, what is it? Is it Ole Miss and A&M are at 4 and 5?
Yeah.
Not to belittle what they're doing, and just because it's different teams every single year, but, like, who takes that seriously? Because, like, what, you think Lane Kiffin's going to win a national championship? Like, he's a really good coach, but is he in that class of, like, being the best in the nation? I don't think so.
How many times has Miami collapsed in November?
Okay, I'm actually not tolerating that one because I think Miami's really good. They are an exception.
They're very good, but Mario Cristobal is 4 and 10 in November.
I know, and he's got some issues. And you know what? And
some questions at the end of game, that's for sure.
Yeah, Miami has lost some games in recent years that they shouldn't have lost. So maybe the worst game of Miami season could catch them at some point. But they're really, really tough O-line and D-line. And I totally believe that you win in the trenches. So Miami's really, really tough. I take them very seriously. But
Malio is a top 10 pick in the NFL.
And Reuben Bain.
Yeah.
So they got a really good tackle on the outside of the O-line, and they got a really good edge on the outside of the D-line. So they're really good. I take them very seriously. But it's like a 3-horse race right now. It's Ohio State, it's Miami, and it's Oregon. And then that's when you get into the Ole Miss. Like, is Ole Miss going to be in the top 5 all year long? Is Texas A&M going to be in the top 5 all year long? Oklahoma's at 6. Which, by the way, I don't know why those two flipped, because
I think
they
Oklahoma's
both blew out their
legit,
opponent.
especially if Mateer comes back and is okay.
Yeah, he's very good, but and I hate to hold. I don't want to be just so beholden to what happened in previous years, because at some point, if you're going to start something, it's got to start somewhere. So maybe this is the year for those schools. But Ohio State fans really got to be thinking, man, we do not have to go through much in order to win a championship.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you've already laid out the 3 games that are tough on the schedule still, or semi-tough, however you want to look at it. You've got a ranked trip on the road this week with Illinois, Penn State, November 1st, and yeah, they've lost 2 in a row, but they still have a talented team, and then the rivalry game at the end of the year. So That's what's in front of you for this team. But Ryan Day, and I feel like I've been as big a critic on him as anyone, Nate. I know you've been critical of him as well. He sure seems to be pushing all of the right buttons here in the last 8 months, 10 months or so, because it has worked for Ohio State in that run through the playoffs to win the national championship and the 5-0 start so far this year. We'll talk some more college football and some more Buckeyes a little later, but the Cleveland Browns, they lost a tough one today over in London. I'll see if I have any more tears for them coming up next. It's Fan Sports Sunday on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Another summer is ended, and you may have noticed that your energy is lower, your workouts aren't as productive, perhaps you aren't sleeping as well and feel foggy all the time, maybe even your sex drive is off. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're experiencing some or all of these symptoms, it's likely you have low testosterone. And if that's what's going on with you, don't wait. You need to call us at Tri-State Men's Health and get treated for your low T. Because living with low testosterone is no way to live. With our low T treatments, if you're like most guys, your life will change considerably. Improved sleep, better energy, greater gains in the gym, better mental clarity, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. Plus, most men see these results in just a few weeks. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
Now at Great Lakes Hyundai, lease a new 2026 Hyundai Tucson SE for just $189 a month. You heard it, $189. Plus get owner assurance and America's best warranty. 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Only at Great Lakes Hyundai, Columbus or Dublin, or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit, $39.95 down plus taxes, fees, first month payment, 10 miles per year. Ends 11/3.
Buckeye fans, introducing Behind the O, the brand new app packed with original athlete and fan-driven Ohio State sports content. It's free to download in the App Store on iOS and Android, and every time you open it, you're helping generate NIL dollars for your favorite Buckeye athletes with zero cost to you. Get exclusive access to fresh behind-the-scenes videos, training routines, athlete lifestyles, and more from every Ohio State sport. Don't wait. Download Behind the O now and get closer to your Buckeyes than ever before.
Behind the O, free for fans, NIL for athletes.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? In the best way possible, by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities. And most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
Parents, are your teens good with money? No. Switch to Huntington Bank and let's teach them. They get their own card, which they can add to their digital wallet, and you can monitor and set spending limits. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Skyline's new chicken chili is here. Now you can enjoy that legendary Skyline taste with a new protein option. Try Skyline's chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. Feeling good. It's Skyline time.
The football season now stretches from August to late January, and we can't afford not to be at our very best all season. Hey guys, it's Eric Reeser, and if you're like me, looking at the calendar wondering how you're going to stay at 100% for the next 5 months, do what I did. Go see my friends at Hydrate Me Med Spa. I went to their Grandview location, got hooked up with a fast vitamin push that's got me feeling better than I have in years, and the NAD Plus has me thinking better too. From IV to aesthetic treatments, look great, feel great at Hydrate Me Med Spa. 4 locations, Grandview, Granville, New Albany, and Dublin. Book your appointment at hydratememedSpa.com.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream.
they're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them, safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together, all of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Join Rothman and Ice every Thursday at 2:30 for Gold Jacket Thursday.
Presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A new Hall of Famer joins the show every week, but not OJ because he's dead and probably a murderer. The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Sports talk, weekend style. You're listening to Fan Sports Sunday.
So I was looking in the break at the YouTube chat, Cole, and you were wearing, if people are tuning in on the YouTube, which you can always do, all of our shows are always live on YouTube. You're wearing a Phillip Rivers Chargers. Is that a jersey or a jersey shirt?
No, this is the Color Rush jersey.
Okay, so one of the old Chargers Color Rush jerseys. You're wearing that today. Now, I know you are a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, first and foremost at heart, but someone on the YouTube chat asks, how did you end up a Chargers fan?
Well, you see, the Browns were playing in Europe today, so I thought it'd be fitting if I just wore a random jersey, because there were a lot of those in the stands.
Yes, there were.
In fact, I had a buddy of mine who's actually was there in London at the game, and I said to him, for the sake of the radio, I need you to keep track of the obscure jerseys that you see around there. So I'm pulling this up. He said that he saw, here are some of the ones that stand out. He saw a Jeremy Maclin Eagles jersey in the crowd.
Wow.
There were a few Redskins fans who all had like Redskins like Hall of Famers and all-time great, like Joe Theismann and Art Monk.
Okay.
A David Johnson Cardinals jersey, which would have been great for your fantasy football team for like 1 year, a decade ago. Somebody had a half and half Vikings Patriots Randy Moss jersey, which gotta be honest, that sounds pretty sick. I think the biggest off the wall one here would be Julio Jones Tennessee Titans jersey. All of that and more.
Wow.
Seen in the crowd at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where the Browns got defeated and the Vikings covered at the very last minute.
So I have never understood the go to a game and wear your favorite team's jersey, even though your favorite team isn't playing in the game. I've never understood that.
There's only one exception.
Except for in these Europe games.
Yes,
I feel like
there's
that's
another
okay.
exception.
Because those people, they don't ever get to see football, so they just want to go to a football game. So in that regard, I can understand it. I've never understood like going to a Jackets game and the Jackets are playing the Sabres and people are in Pittsburgh Penguins jerseys. Like
those are trolls.
What the hell are we doing?
Those are trolls.
Chicago Blackhawks jerseys. Get the hell out of here.
Here's what I will say. Here's the other exception. If that game has some sort of playoff implication for your team, like you need a team to lose so your team can get in, I think that's actually cool when you can see the fans in the crowd who are there really not rooting for anybody they like, but rooting against somebody they hate or someone that they need to lose so that their team can get into the playoffs. That's a decent exception. Other than that, yeah, you're like, I guess what would the parallel be? Like if you wore a different band's T-shirt to a concert, because like, hey, we're going to a concert. Let me
actually, it is wearing the shirt of the band you're going to see. You don't do that.
You don't do that?
Yes, that is correct. You do not do that.
Hold on, is this a rule? Is this an unwritten rule?
Yes, it is an unwritten rule. You do not wear a shirt of the band.
Do you buy the shirt there?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense, right?
Or you or you wear another band in the same genre.
So if you
wait, whoa. But that was my whole point, was that you don't do that.
No, you don't wear the shirt of the band.
It's actually more appropriate to wear a shirt of a band that isn't performing.
Correct.
Why?
It's just what it is.
Okay, I don't accept that. I don't accept that in life.
If you buy the shirt there,
is it okay to put it on? It is okay to put it on.
Okay.
I am very much
I don't know
against the
about this.
attitude of, hey, we just don't do that around here. Why? Because we just don't do that around here. That's not a reason. So I ain't down with that. So I am going to.
That's it. I
Anybody want to go to a concert? I'll wear a T-shirt of whoever's performing. And apparently that'll be sacrilege.
The main reason is you go to the show and buy a new shirt.
So
no,
what? What if I
I'm
want to be
okay with
cheap?
that. I can understand that.
What if I want to be cheap?
What about Nate, WWE shows and people wear their WWE wrestler? Shouldn't you go buy a shirt?
Yeah.
And not wear it?
I mean, you can wear some old school guys.
I do like the old school there. I don't know. You know what my favorite part about this whole conversation we just had, though, is?
You've avoided talking about the
I
Browns?
didn't have to talk about the Cleveland Browns. That's awesome.
Good
And
thing we
have
got
to go
one
to
more
break.
hour.
I know. We'll talk some Browns and the rest of the NFL. We've got some 1 o'clock games going final, 4 o'clock games getting started up. We'll give you an update what's going on the NFL, week 5 of the NFL today. Coming up next, it's Fan Sports Sunday on The Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Feeling stuck on your own 10-yard line in the career game? Maybe it's time to just go for IT. My Computer Career has the game plan to score a rewarding new IT career in months. Whether you're a rookie, a breakout career changer, or a military veteran ready to serve. Why spend years chasing a college degree when you can fast-track your future in IT starting now? Take your mark, get set, go for IT. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront cost before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life. There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK. I was told you could make us feel better. You're suffering from too much junkitis. Point at something you haven't used lately. Wow, it's gone. Try it, honey. You'll feel light as a feather.
Something I haven't used?
All you have to do is point.
I feel like I'm flying.
That's the sound of optimism and energy and possibilities. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus, The Fan.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Puterball with your sports update. The Cleveland Browns, they headed out to London this morning, but they're not coming home with a win. The Browns lost to the Vikings 21-17 when Carson Wentz tossed a last-minute touchdown pass to Jordan Addison. Dylan Gabriel went 19 of 33 for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns in his NFL debut, and Quinshon Judkins added 110 yards and 23 carries. The Bengals are set to get back on track this afternoon. 4:25 is the kickoff against the Detroit Lions. The Ohio State Buckeyes, they're on top of the latest AP poll after taking apart Minnesota 42-3 last night. Big nights for Julian Saint and Cardell Tate. Saint went 23 of 27 for 326 yards and 3 TDs, while Tate had a career-high 9 receptions for 183 yards and a touchdown. Miami jumped up to number 2 last night. Oregon, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M, they round out the top 5. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan.
Your go-to destination for Buckeye football talk all year round. This is Fan Sports Sunday.
Yes, it is. Fan Sports Sunday. Ryan Baker here with you. Cole Bartemes, and you heard Nate Peterball there on the update. Glad to have you along. Hopefully you hang out with us for another hour. I know there's a lot going on, a lot of football being played right now. A couple games have just gone final in the 1 o'clock window. Some 4 o'clock games getting ready to kick here in the next few minutes. And we did have a game earlier today. It was the Cleveland Browns. You could hear it all right here on The Fan. They lose 21-7 to the Minnesota Vikings. 17, excuse me. The Vikings scoring a touchdown in the final 3 minutes.
Come on, Nate just told us.
I know you did, but I'm just reiterating it because it hurts my heart and with the Browns. I don't think anything with the Browns actually hurts my heart anymore, but it just seems like a very Browns way to lose a football game. And not only do they lose the game, the hook got them, and they can't even cover because it was 3.5, and they lose by 4.
Okay,
Dylan Gabriel, very pedestrian in his first start. Nothing terrible, but nothing great.
Let's go through this exercise. Do you think that there is a decent shot that Dylan Gabriel could be the starting quarterback of the future? Are you open-minded about that, or are you kind of jaded?
I will say this. In last year's draft, because I had questions about Shedeur, I had questions about Cam Ward. Height aside, I did like Dylan Gabriel the best.
Okay.
But I also know that height doesn't play at the quarterback position in the NFL, right? I mean, the only one that's ever been, and they say he's 5'10", maybe. I don't think he's even that. But like Doug Flutie, right, was 5'11" or 5'9", and he's maybe the only guy that small that's had a small bit of success in the NFL at the quarterback position, and that was a small sample size. I think Dylan Gabriel does a lot of good things. I think he has an accurate arm. I think he's got the physical ability to move around and get outside of the pocket and make some plays. Smart dude, played a lot of football. I just don't know with the size if that's going to work. And you and I were talking about this. When he misses on throws, it seems to be high. And I feel like that's a compensation somehow for being so short. And you know, when you miss high over the middle, a lot of bad things happen.
There are safeties
in the
waiting back there.
NFL. Yes, there are. And that can be bad. This is what I will say. If you get to a point where you're 4 or 5 games left in this season and you're the Cleveland Browns brass and you're not totally sure that Dylan Gabriel is your future, you have to put Shedeur Sanders in there just to see if he is or not. Now, I don't think he is either.
Yeah.
But you have to see, right? Because you made the draft picks, so you have got to have a decision. I think it's more likely that Dylan Gabriel is a 10-year backup in the NFL and hopefully a long-term backup for the Cleveland Browns. Who knows if he'll want to stay if he's not the starter when his rookie contract is up. Who knows if they'll be able to come to a deal. But I just think Dylan Gabriel has a lot of things to overcome.
So I came to this decision just this past week. I think this is what I got figured out. Based on the rounds in which you were drafted at the quarterback position. If you're a first-round quarterback, you're supposed to be a starter. All right, if you're a second-round quarterback, probably a starter, might be a backup. Third round, probably a backup, might be a starter. If you're a day 3 pick, you're probably a backup, or you're supposed to be a backup. So him fitting into that round 3 niche that I've created for him, where probably a backup might be a starter, I think that the Browns, it would, and this is me stating the obvious, it would really behoove them to make a decision on him at the end of this year. Hey, did we like what we saw this year? Not convinced? Let's draft one in the first round. So what I'm going to say to you is if you're not that optimistic on Dylan Gabriel and mentally you're already past him, then close losses would actually help you as a fan. Now, it doesn't help you in the short term.
1,000%.
It helps you in the long term because you want to see your team be competitive, but you also want the draft pick. And so that also kind of factors in of like, what do you think of Kevin Stefanski? Because some people, his approval rating is like shifting every single season. Like every single time everybody gets tired of Kevin Stefanski, he wins Coach of the Year. So like that factors into it too. But depending on what your perspective is of where the Browns are right now and where you think they're going, close losses could actually fit your agenda.
So I'm not going to lie in this regardless if Dylan Gabriel proves he's the franchise or not.
Yeah.
I still think the Browns at best, I mean, they're already 1-4. I thought this is the beginning of the year, best case scenario for the Browns. They were a 7-win team. I think all the losses you can have, I'm for that because I don't think 7-10 in the NFL gets you anywhere. And this is a draft where Jacksonville they are what their record is right now. I'm still not convinced Jacksonville is a great team, and I'm still not convinced there's not a lot of losses left on their schedule. You could have 2 really high picks in this draft. So I'm okay with all the losses the Browns have this year if I think that gets them some better picks and add on to the draft that they had this year and maybe get them to where they want to go next year. Because to me, I thought they were like a 7-10 type team at best case scenario. And I think that does nothing for you.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Although if you go 7-10, the question does kind of become, especially at this point in the year, from what we've seen with this 1-4 start, if they finish 7-10, that almost be pretty impressive. And you got to think that, yes, although this is a very defensive-oriented team, like that's where all the stars are. And I thought a lot of guys in their defense played really well, including some guy I've never heard of before, like Alex Wright, like some like second-level defensive lineman steps up in a big way. And whenever he gets his snaps, he had a big game today. But if you go 7-10 somehow, and their schedule will lighten up here a little bit in the middle, I got to think that almost implies that Dylan Gabriel played pretty well.
So I know the idea is to see if the guys are good enough for next year so you can go draft a quarterback next year if you need to. I was looking at who ESPN had as the top quarterbacks in the top 15 picks just before the season started. Tell me which of these you want right now.
I know exactly where you're going here.
Number 1, Arch.
Nope.
Number 2, Lenora Sellers.
Nope.
Number 3, Cade Klubnik.
Nope.
Number 4, Sam Levitt.
No.
Number 5, Drew Aller.
No.
Number 6, Garrett Nussmeier.
No, but there are 2 more factors in the mix, and their names are Dante Moore and Fernando Mendoza.
I will say, I think there's something with Sam Levitt possibly still. I mean, he's just a sophomore, right? Maybe a redshirt sophomore.
Yes, he would be draft eligible.
I still think there's something there. There might be something there with Lenora Sellers. I'm not sure because I don't know how great the rest of that South Carolina team is. But yeah, you're right. It doesn't seem like it's going to be one of those. It does seem like Carson Beck has put himself back in the top of the quarterback list. Again, I don't know what he is at the next level, if that's what you want. Fernando Mendoza, I know a lot of people really like him. He looked really good in his primetime game against Illinois. So I'm not sure. It's just the Browns.
Here's the thing that I can't...
Perpetual in the talk.
I can't figure this out about... mostly quarterbacks, although this logic could apply elsewhere as well. So I want prodigies on my team. So if you're in college for 6 years, and well, let's just say 5 years, but there are some COVID. I think Carson Beck's in year 6.
Yeah.
I think he still has that COVID year. If you're in year 6, my question to you is, why are you still playing college football? The answer is because you're not good enough for the NFL. But at the same time, it also helps that you enter the league with a lot of experience. And so Dylan Gabriel, for example, played 6 years of college football. So he has a lot of experience on the field. That does help. But at the same time, it's like, I want prodigies, not dudes who are in college because they had to be. I'm kind of caught in the middle on that.
I think you're normally right with that, but I do believe quarterback is a developmental position. And the guys we're seeing coming into the league and having success right away are guys that have played a lot of snaps in college football. A Jaden Daniels, a Bo Nix, a Baker Mayfield, even a few years back. And I don't know if Sam Darnold is legit in the NFL or not. We'll see. He's having a pretty good year right now with Seattle. If you remember, Sam Darnold was a prodigy type, right?
Yeah.
And he went into the NFL without playing. I think he was only 20 when he went into the draft, and he had not played a lot of football. And he ended up going to a couple bad organizations, got beat around a little bit. It takes a little bit of time with some of these guys. A guy like Brock Purdy had played a lot of football. So I think you're normally right, but I do believe the quarterback position is a developmental position, and sometimes you need those reps to reach your potential.
All right, Carson Beck, you still have life. All
Could
right.
be.
Top 10, come on down.
So in the NFL, we've had some games go final. Other than that Browns game, the Texans hammer the Ravens, who had about half their starters out, 44-10.
Let me jump in on that one real quick.
Go ahead.
Because I mentioned a little bit ago that schedule lightens up for the Browns in the middle.
Very light for Baltimore.
So the first 5 games after the bye week, 4 of those teams are definitively bad. Jets, 0-4. What happens when the Browns play them? Browns versus Ravens. Now, we don't know what the Ravens' health is going to be like at that point, but when I just say those words right here, right now, I say the Browns have the Ravens at home. What does it sound like?
It sounds like Lamar will be back for that game, but I mean,
but the rest of their defense is terrible.
Yeah.
Their defense was terrible when it was healthy week 1. Now they're beat to hell, dude. Like, their defense is awful. So that could be something. I'm not trying to overdo it because it does sound a little bit weird. Like, the Browns going to beat the Ravens, but with this Ravens team, it's an option. And just to round it out, the other 2 teams who they would have that would be potential wins on the schedule would be the Raiders and the Titans. So there's a 5-week schedule where you play 4 teams where it's like somebody's got to win.
It is true.
So it might as well be you.
The Panthers come from behind and beat the Dolphins today, 27-24. The Saints pick up their first win of the season, 26-14 over the Giants. And the Colts hammered the Raiders 40-6. I saw Anthony Richardson got in this game late, threw a terrible pass right into a defender's arm, bounced way in the air, and Richardson caught it. And I think gained a first down for the Colts on the play. Anthony Richardson just really bad.
What does it say about the Giants that Daniel Jones left and suddenly looks like an MVP candidate?
No kidding. Well,
says
you know what
a
it
lot
says
about them.
It says that Josh Allen made Brian Daboll, not the other way around.
I think that's correct. And Sean McDermott, pretty good coach in Buffalo, right? The Cowboys, with just under 2 minutes left, lead the Jets 37-22. The Broncos, with 2 minutes left, 18-17. They're up on the Eagles, and the Broncos have the ball, it looks like, in the red zone even. So how about that? Then a couple games underway already in the 4 o'clock slate. The Titans are at the Cardinals, and the Buccaneers out west taking on the Seahawks. Of course, the Bengals coming up here at 4:25 as they host the Lions. The other 4:25 game, the Commanders heading west to take on the Chargers. It was a crazy Saturday in college football. We will run through all of it next and give you the latest AP poll as well. It's Fan Sports Sunday on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Taking out the trash. Hey, Columbus, this is Zach Bourne. And Jacoby Bourne. When it comes to waste service, you want a team that knows how to deliver under pressure, just like Saturdays in the fall.
At Bourne Brothers Waste Services, our team is built on toughness, teamwork, and consistent execution.
We're the most reliable and customer service-focused waste company in Central Ohio.
Whether it is recycling, trash, construction waste, roll-off containers, front loads, or compactors, we have it handled.
Call now or visit bournebrothers.com and let us tackle your waste needs. Taking out the trash.
You know me, when it comes to big moments like popping the question, I always say, I've got a guy. That guy is Bob Capace at Worthington Jewelers.
Thanks, Common Man. Right now it's our fall bridal sale. Buy one, get one 50% off. Engagement rings, wedding bands, wedding jewelry. We've got it all.
If you want sparkle, you want quality, and you want to save big, trust me, I've got a guy.
That's me. Come see us at Worthington Jewelers.
Worthington Jewelers,
where Columbus gets engaged.
The football season now stretches from August to late January, and we can't afford not to be at our very best all season. Hey guys, it's Eric Reeser, and if you're like me, looking at the calendar wondering how you're going to stay at 100% for the next 5 months, do what I did, go see my friends at Hydrate Me Med Spa. I went to their Grandview location, got hooked up with a fast vitamin push that's got me feeling better than I have in years, and the NAD Plus has me thinking better too. From IV to aesthetic treatments, look great, feel great at Hydrate Me Med Spa. 4 locations, Grandview, Granville, New Albany, and Dublin. Book your appointment at hydratememedspa.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
We have made our community a very important part of our business. One of the things that many people may not realize is that I was born and raised in Columbus. Our plant is in Columbus. All of our employees are from Ohio. And the community hears about all this stuff. And so the community trusts us.
See for yourself. Visit RosatiWindows.com or come to our showroom located at 4200 Roberts Road.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Is your money just lying around? Switch to Huntington Bank, and your money's always doing something. Like auto savings for special events, tracking your teen spending, and helping protect your parents from fraud. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Columbus, the Blue Jackets schedule is out. And you can lock in your seats with ticket plans starting at just 11 games. Don't miss a moment of the action. Visit BlueJackets.com.
Bishop and Friends.
Flat Dayton, Oklahoma City, just very flat road all the way down to Norman.
We need a show shirt that says that, Flat Dayton.
Bishop and Friends, sponsored by Diamond Seller.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures back in the mid-80s. Overnight into Monday, we'll see a few more clouds coming back in. Mid-50s when you wake up and roll out Monday. We'll see a few clouds and a risk of a shower Monday, but much of the day dry and warm. High temperatures back in the mid-80s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan. Instead of annoying national people talking to you this weekend, we've opted for annoying local people. This is Fan Sports Sunday.
Watching this Eagles-Broncos game come down to the wire here. The Eagles trying to drive. They're down by 4.
This will be a huge win for Denver.
Big pass interference here on Denver as the Eagles with the ball at their own 47 trying to cross midfield. So we'll give you an update here on this game.
They need a touchdown, though. It's going to be hard in 15 seconds.
No timeouts either. So we'll give you an update on that here as this one goes. Big pass play out of bounds inside the 30, so there's a chance.
I'll tell you what, though. I might actually be rooting for the Eagles to somehow score a touchdown and win this game because that would require some really good plays like that last one from Jalen Hurts. He's been getting a lot of slander on the mean streets of Twitter lately, and I don't think he's nearly as bad as other people do. His stat lines aren't great, but that's because the Eagles' offensive line is incredible, and they're a run-first offense. And so I'm not trying to be hypocritical because I definitely was slandering J.J. McCarthy coming out of Michigan for saying all he does is hand the ball off. But I kind of want to defend Jalen Hurts. He's done it on the biggest stage. He was great in both Super Bowls.
I mean, he did in college too, right? He won at Alabama, came in and won that one's incomplete on the side. 3 seconds left now.
All right, so they're going to have like a 30-yard Hail Mary.
The Hail Mary. But, yeah, he won at Alabama, came off the bench. They sat him for Tua. He came off and won a national championship for them. Then he went to Oklahoma and kind of changed his career, kind of became more of a passing quarterback there at Oklahoma. I love Jalen Hurts. I think the dude's a winner and one of the best in the league. Speaking of Jalen Hurts, by the way, I know this is crazy in the NFL today. Every Oklahoma starting quarterback from 2015 to 2013 starting today for their NFL teams in the National Football League. So that's Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Spencer Rattler, Caleb Williams, and Dylan Gabriel. That was a heck of a run of quarterback play in Oklahoma. Now, some of them transferred in.
Yeah.
Some of them transferred out. But that's pretty impressive what the Oklahoma Sooners had. What's even crazy is they didn't win anything with all of those guys, right?
Lincoln Riley kind of just got away with that, where, as we're watching a Hail Mary now, and all right,
so
anyway.
Denver pulls the upset. They knock off Philly today, 21-17.
But I felt like Lincoln Riley was always kind of hiding in that one, where everyone was talking about him like, oh, Lincoln Riley's this great offensive mind and great coach. It's like he didn't win a single playoff game ever.
At some point, you have to learn how to coach a defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what's kind of going on at USC right now for them.
Certainly 2 years ago, they had a reigning Heisman Trophy winner in Caleb Williams come back. He was awesome, and they went 7-5 because their defense was so bad.
Speaking of college football teams out in Los Angeles.
We're in L.A.
How about the upset? UCLA and Nico Iamaleava pulled off this week. They beat Penn State 42-37. I mean, it was a wild day in college football to me and some crazy upsets. That one's got to be the biggest because that is just inexplicable. Like you said earlier, Cole, Penn State let Oregon beat them twice, I have a feeling.
Well, I stole your quote because you said that in the pre-show, so I will attribute that one to you. But, yeah, there is not a single person in not me, not Baker, not Nate. If Penn State and UCLA, you can play it wherever you want. You can play it in Pasadena again. You can play it on Mars. If those two teams played again 5 minutes from now, all three of us are picking Penn State to win that game. So that's not something of like, oh, you know, they really snuck up on them. I got to think that in UCLA, by the way, they're 0-4.
Worst Power 4 team in college football.
Yeah. And who was their schedule? I forget because they lost to somebody, probably multiple somebodies who weren't even in the Power 4 conferences. I got a.
Was one of them New Mexico?
I am seeing, New Mexico. So there you go. We got UNLV. Or I apologize. We'll start with Utah. Utah beat them 43-10. They went to Las Vegas and lost to UNLV by a touchdown. They lost at home by 25 to New Mexico. And then they kicked off Big Ten play, losing by 3 in Evanston. Okay, so That's what they limped into this game with. I got to assume they weren't just saving everything for Penn State in week 5. So that's...
Nico looked like he was suddenly back at Tennessee.
I will say this. Again, we have our whole conversation. At some point, you got to have your best game of the year. At some point, you got to have the worst game of the year. You have one of each. UCLA has exhausted their one best game of the year, and they actually did look good doing it. Now, were they so good that they should be putting up 42 points? Jim Knowles, where the hell you at? Okay, like you got to come up with something because they're not that good. They did have their best game of the year, and Nico did make some impressive plays, but oh my goodness, I got to believe that James Franklin let Oregon beat them twice. It was a great point by you, and I wholeheartedly agree with it. UCLA is nowhere near as talented as Penn State. That's a fluke.
Can I ask you, without looking, can you tell me who UCLA's interim head coach is?
Oh, his name is Skipper.
It's Rick Neuheisel's kid, right?
So
that's
you're both kind of right. Tim Skipper is the interim head coach. Jerry Neuheisel is the guy that they showed the players carrying off the field. He's their offensive coordinator. So half point for both of you guys there. That's pretty good. I didn't think that either of you would have that. Another loss to me that is just stupefying is Texas losing to Florida. And I understand that Arch in the Texas offense has not looked right at all this year, but I saw that defense play in person at the Shoe to open the season. And I understand Ohio State scaled the offense back a little bit for Julian and them wanting to win the game. But that defense is good.
Yeah.
I thought that defense would travel. Florida is not good. And DJ Lagway's a heck of an athlete, but I don't think he's a very good quarterback. And Florida beat them, and I just don't understand it. And I think there's a lot of questions about Steve Sarkisian if he can get it done in a big game.
Obviously, like, Arch has been not what was advertised, but Steve Sarkisian has this reputation as this offensive genius. He's 0-for against Georgia, Oklahoma, and Alabama, and Ohio State. Where is this genius offense guy?
And listen, I'm with you. And you heard Chris Sims talk about it on NBC's coverage of Ohio State's game, which NBC's football coverage leaves a lot to be desired. That's a topic for another day, I guess. But I think there's questions about Texas and Sark.
Oh yeah, and I will get out in front of this immediately. I don't think that this delegitimizes Ohio State's victory over them because I don't think Ohio State needs much of a resume to be justified in wherever you're going to rank them. I think that the Michigan game is going to speak volumes here locally, but then really on the national scale, the Big Ten championship is going to be the big game because I think we've noticed that despite the fact that I'm kind of defending Penn State in a very slight fashion, saying that they're not as bad as they looked yesterday, but still, they lost their game against Oregon. James Franklin, I think this is on him. Jim Knowles, definitely part of this as well, carrying that over to the UCLA game. But, I mean, you talk about a paper tiger, or a paper lion in that case with Penn State. I don't think Ohio State fans should have much fear. Talk about can't win the big one. That's got to be in their heads, and it's in everybody else's heads. Everybody was not taking James Franklin seriously, and now we have even more fodder for that.
The only pushback I would give on that is they have nothing to lose now. So damn the torpedoes, right? if you're there, I don't know if Franklin has the balls to do that, but I don't think it takes much balls, right? Like you're either in or you're out. You've got to win this game because if you don't, you're out.
Well, I think that is the thing to lose.
You've got nothing to lose, but you still have Drew Aller as your quarterback.
If they beat Ohio State, Penn State's in. Like, as embarrassing as the UCLA
they got to get past Indiana, too. And that's not a gimme.
It's not a gimme, but your path, you have a path in, at least, I guess. You're not dead. If you lose to Ohio State, you're dead. So...
I'm sorry, I was just distracted by the paint on James Brown's head on the CBS studio coverage. But, okay, see, you bring in Indiana into the mix, and I have mixed feelings about them because Kurt Cignetti can get his team up for a game.
He's shown that.
And so I believe they have Oregon this week.
Yes.
And so this is going to be a different challenge because this one's way out on the road. So the Illinois game was at home. And, again, what a time to have your best game of the season in a spot like that against an Illinois team that we do take seriously. But when the talent disparity is going to be what it is against Oregon, against Ohio State, like we saw last year. And I got to say it, against Penn State. We think very, very highly of Oregon, and Penn State took them to overtime. So they're still capable of being a really good team when they're not having their absolute worst game of the year. So I'm kind of in the middle on how Ohio State fans should. I'm arguing the Indiana point, by the way. Ohio State fans should not take Penn State seriously. Indiana fans should. Indiana, in my opinion, just because that they've won some fun games, has not earned the right to just be like, Penn State's got to go through us. No. Ohio State, yes.
I know we want to poo-poo Drew Aller, and that's fine, but I don't think Drew Aller's the reason they lost that game the other day. 19 of 26, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. It doesn't sound like he was asked to do much.
They scored 37.
Quite frankly, with those and scoring 37.
No, there's no world where the great Jim Knowles should have 42 points dropped on him by the worst team in the Power 4.
And I will say this, too. Drew Aller made 2 plays, one with his arm, one with his legs, that brought them back in that fourth quarter against Oregon. So are there questions about Aller? Sure, there are. But I was impressed because I wasn't sure he could make those plays in a big game, and he did against Oregon, and that made me take notice a little bit. Also, Cincinnati with a big upset this week. They beat Iowa State. Big wins for Bama, Georgia, Miami, and Texas Tech, all in that. I want to talk a little bit about this upset part because Ryan Day had something interesting after the Minnesota game that he said that I want to talk about. Also, there's something that I've been paying attention to with this Buckeyes team all year long. We'll tell you about that in 2 minutes as well. It's Fan Sports Sunday on The Fan.
Hey friends, Beamer here. And a bye week, it's about getting your energy back, and that's exactly what Awaken 180 gave me. I don't drag through mornings anymore. I'm not dreading the stairs or a long day. I feel lighter, sharper, and actually in control. Yeah, I dropped a lot of weight, but what actually matters is how different my life feels now. If you're ready for your own reset, take this bye week to get you there with Awaken 180. Start today online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Let's face it, repairing or replacing your roof is a big decision. It's an investment in your home, your safety, and your peace of mind. But with so many roofing companies out there, how do you know which one to trust? How do you know your investment will be in good hands? Since 1992, Newman Roofing has been the family-owned company homeowners have relied on. We understand that roofing projects can be stressful. That's why we've built our company around you, offering a white glove experience designed to make your roofing project as smooth and easy as possible. At Newman Roofing, we focus on the details because the details matter. Our craftsmanship, attention to quality, and commitment to service are second to none. Why? Because when your name is on it, it just means more. Your roof isn't just another project. It's our promise to deliver the very best. So, as the cooler weather approaches, don't wait. Get your Newman roof while there's still time this fall. Call us today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
T-Bone and Tyvus are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan. It's sports conversation, but with a drink and umbrella as a garnish. This is Fan Sports Sunday.
Weston in his end zone. Hits the snap, punts it with the right foot. Brandon Innes for Ohio State, moving around, catches at his own 44, moves, and he throws it backwards now. It's caught by Lorenzo Styles. Running up the left side to the 40 of Minnesota. Styles to the 30. He's to the 20 and knocked out of bounds at the 20-yard line is Lorenzo Styles on a backward pass. He was finally put out by Mason Carrier. Nice play.
Little throwback action there, and a nice throw by number 1 Brandon Innes on that play.
When you guys saw that play in the Ohio State game with Brandon Innes throwing the punt across field to Lorenzo Styles, what was your first thought when you saw it or heard it?
All right, first of all, I got to verify that it was when I thought it was. Was the score 21-3?
21-3, correct.
My first thought was, why now? Now, I don't think that you have to just save everything for your biggest game of the year. So I'm not going to be like, oh, why did you use that against Penn State or Michigan? And you also got to practice this stuff in real time. So you need some warm-ups and stuff. But I will say 21-3, if they did that on the opening possession of the game and was like, hey, we're setting the tone, we're not messing around with Minnesota, we're burying them right now, that I would have understood. So I'm not even upset at who the opponent was. It was a conference game. I would have been upset if it were you were Grambling. But conference game, conference play, I say fair game. I'm just 21-3, do that in a one-score game. Do that in a tie game or something like that. Do that in the first quarter and really set the tone for the game. That was the only thing that I was critical of with that.
My first thought was it was nice to see the special teams actually do something positive.
Special?
That was a nice thing to see, and also nice to see the former quarterback and wide receivers play their original positions for a little bit.
So my first thought was Minnesota, really? But then it got me to thinking, what could that set up down the road, right? Hey, get it in people's minds that maybe something is coming, and what could you do off of that in the future? But my first thought was, why would you do that against Minnesota? It's interesting. I didn't know we were going to go this route with this, but this was Ryan Day talking with Paul and Jim after about doing the fake punt or the
we needed the right situation, and we felt like we had the exact right situation, and we've been working on it for a couple weeks, and it was a little hairy early on, working on it. We missed the throw a couple times, but we've been working a little bit more on it. And we felt like we had the right situation, and it was well executed. But it's good to have wrinkles like that, and I thought the guys worked hard to make sure we put it on the field because, all those things are great if you don't execute them. But, I thought Brandon stood in there and took a shot on it, too. He's a tough player, and great to see him make that play.
And that goes to your point, Cole. These things you have to practice. You can't just throw it out there willy-nilly. And if you've put the work in on it, you got to give the players the reward of putting the work in on it and making it right.
Yeah, what was the Dylan Gabriel line this week? If you're waiting for the perfect time, you're going to be waiting your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So it is kind of something, too, where I got to imagine if you're a coach at Ohio State or, whatever football team, everybody has trick plays at the ready. If you finish the season and you never use them, it's kind of like, man, we had something good there, and we just didn't find the perfect time. So I can understand maybe a little bit of antsiness of being like, hey, man, we think we got something, and we want to throw it out there. Because if you have it in your playbook and you don't ever call it, then what good is it?
Ryan Day is always at his best when he's aggressive, so I will never, ever complain when Ryan Day busts out an aggressive play.
And also with that, right, 21-3 doesn't hurt you, right, if something happens. You still got a 3-score lead at that point. Could it change momentum? Yeah, maybe, but it doesn't really hurt you. And listen, we talked about some of these teams with upsets this week. Penn State laying a total egg against UCLA. Texas falling to Florida. Ryan Day talked post-game about being on alert for things like that and staying hungry.
Stress it the way you did this. It's just always on alert. Always on alert, because I'm sure that, I've been coaching now for a while, and just never want to be in a situation where you go into a game and a game catches you off guard because, you felt like, you weren't on it, that you weren't hungry and desperate, because when you watch teams that are that way, you see what you get. And so that to me is important to figure out, how do you have that mentality, yet when you keep winning, it's easy to take the problems and the issues and just say, it's not a problem. I'll just say it, Bo Jackson reaches the ball out on second down. That's a problem. We should not be reaching the ball out. That's going to be a fumble down the road. I'm just going to call it out for what it is. That's an issue. And if the ball is fumbled, then we're in a different situation right now. And so we have to recognize the things that we need to get better at. The 3rd and 2, Lincoln should have been in the A gap. He bounced it. That's going to lose us a game if we don't recognize how important those things are. I love those guys, but we got to get them fixed. And really, that goes to the coaches. We got to get that straightened out. We got to practice it better. We got to drill it better. We got to hold them accountable. So those are the things that, when you're chasing greatness, you have to be all over, and you got to take them serious. And it can't be after a loss when all of a sudden everybody starts sitting up straight in meetings, or you're gonna get burnt. So, like they say in the Navy SEALs, when you think you got it, you're about to get it, and we're far from where we need to be. So we have to stay hungry every day.
You want to know how Ohio State's 50-1 against unranked opponents?
Thinking like that?
Since Ryan Day has been the head coach, there's your answer right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
unbelievable.
Yeah. Something that I paid attention to, and I don't know if it was because I was at the first 2 games for Ohio State this year in person, or if it was just the uncertainty of this team, right? We weren't sure who was going to be in some spots, who were going to be the key backups. But one thing I've really paid attention to is who was in the game and when they were in the game. And Ohio State last night did something I liked a lot. They played a lot of young guys early in this game. One thing they've been doing this year a lot is they've been, towards the end of the first quarter, beginning of the second quarter, they've been putting Ethan Onyeonwu in at right guard to get in some snaps. Tegra Shabola comes out, then he comes back in. It wasn't Ethan Onyeonwu last night. It was Josh Padilla was the guy that was in there getting the snaps. I also noticed Mylan Graham in at wide receiver super early in this game. Zion Grady, who has flashed a little bit when he's gotten in games. He was in early on the defensive line. Jarquez Carter, another true freshman on that defensive line at defensive tackle, was in early. I know it was because Phillip Daniels got his helmet knocked off, but Ian Moore went into the game at right tackle when Phillip Daniels had to come out. It wasn't Ethan Onyeonwu. So I liked that, seeing these young guys getting some experience when it still matters in the game. And listen, Brandon Inniss has been around for a while. We still don't know. We're not sure. We haven't gotten any production out of that third wide receiver spot yet. I don't know if we need it or not, but we haven't got it yet. So I love seeing Mylan Graham in there. I love seeing Quincy Porter in there. Ryan Day earlier this week talked about Isaiah West. He got in this game last night. We saw Will Smith get a lot of reps on that defensive line. I really liked seeing against a Big Ten opponent. Sure, it was just Minnesota, but this was early on. This was in the first half, these young guys getting in the game.
And I'm so glad that you brought up this topic, because you are somebody who I watched a lot of Ohio State games with last year. And the thing that stood out to me watching games with you is you were always furious that Ryan Day would take forever to put Julian Sayin in the game. And so my question for you is, what did you think about how he deployed Lincoln Kienholz last night, where there was a couple packages in short yardage situations where he came in, but didn't put him in really until about 9.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter?
So I didn't like it. I think that is a gimmicky package type thing, and I don't think anybody believed Lincoln was throwing that ball last night when he came in on the 3rd and 2. I don't understand why they called the timeout to do it, quite frankly, and then to do it. I didn't like that execution. Now, if you had a package in where you put Lincoln in for a whole drive, say early in the second quarter, like everybody knows, Julian, this is what we're going to do to get him some experience. If we're up by 2 scores, this is what we're going to do. He's going to come in this drive. We're going to give him the drive, give him some time. I am okay with that.
So you're not telegraphing it like Tate Martell with Dwayne Haskins.
Let him run the full complement of your offense. Don't just let him come in and run QB sneak, but let him come in, throw the ball, maybe some whatever you're going to call with Julian. And I know it's not the same, but whatever, if Lincoln was the starter, whatever offense you would be running, run that with him. I'm okay with that. I don't let's throw him in for a play here when we need a yard.
Yeah, I agree with you entirely on that one. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and especially with college football, because there are a lot of blowouts. If you're a really good team in college football, you're going to have a lot of just gimme wins on the schedule, unless you're Penn State, apparently. But I've been thinking about this. If you're in a position like this, I wouldn't want a Julian Sayin injury to just ruin my chances at a national championship. So I would have a quicker trigger if it truly was especially if it was a QB battle. If you felt that Lincoln Kienholz was pretty competitive in the QB battle, I would not feel entirely comfortable of just having him sit cold for 3 months and then, oops, Julian Sayin just went down in a playoff game. Lincoln, you haven't gotten any meaningful reps in practice in 3 months, but go out there. Our season's on the line. We need you. I would actually have a quicker trigger and look to mix in Lincoln Kienholz more. And I would explain it to him like, hey, man, we're not like, hey, Julian, we're not like disrespecting you or we're not trying to like reignite a QB competition, but Lincoln can play, and we want him to be ready. So because this is a physical sport and injuries happen, and I don't want to just wait until the middle of the fourth quarter against a team that we're already beating by 37 points. I don't want to wait till then. If we're up by 28 in the third quarter, I may want to get Lincoln some reps and, like you said, actually give him the playbook because we want him to be ready in the event that we need him. Hopefully we don't. But if that happens, I don't want to just throw away a championship season because, one player got hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Good job by Ryan Day and the coaches last night, too. Fourth quarter started. They put Julian back in to finish that drive, and then the starters were out. So you did get almost a quarter, and it was mop-up time, whatever. But Lincoln, and it was with the backups, they did get in there and actually get to play some football for an extended period of time. So good job out of Ohio State for that. The NFL, the 4 o'clock games are in full swing. We'll give you the latest on what's happened in the NFL today and wrap it up. Coming up next, it's Fan Sports Sunday on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Taking out the trash. Hey, Columbus, this is Zach Bourne. And Jacoby Bourne. When it comes to waste service, you want a team that knows how to deliver under pressure, just like Saturdays in the fall.
At Bourne Brothers Waste Services, our team is built on toughness, teamwork, and consistent execution.
We're the most reliable and customer service-focused waste company in Central Ohio.
Whether it is recycling, trash, construction waste, roll-off containers, front loads, or compactors, we have it handled.
Call now or visit BourneBrothers.com and let us tackle your waste needs. Taking out the trash.
Feeling stuck on your own 10-yard line in the career game? Maybe it's time to just go for IT. My Computer Career has the game plan to score a rewarding new IT career in months. Whether you're a rookie, a breakout career changer, or a military veteran ready to serve. Why spend years chasing a college degree when you can fast track your future in IT starting now? Take your mark, get set, go for IT. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Buckeye fans, introducing Behind the O, the brand new app packed with original athlete and fan-driven Ohio State sports content. It's free to download in the App Store on iOS and Android, and every time you open it, you're helping generate NIL dollars for your favorite Buckeye athletes with zero cost to you. Get exclusive access to fresh behind-the-scenes videos, training routines, athlete lifestyles, and more from every Ohio State sport. Don't wait. Download Behind the O now and get closer to your Buckeyes than ever before.
Behind the O, free for fans, NIL for athletes. People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I cannot imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life. There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Hi, this is Ryan Krieger, and at Krieger Ford, we're offering an amazing $12,000 off MSRP on a new Ford Bronco Badlands. This offer is only from Krieger Ford, so come see us on Morris Road or visit KriegerFord.com today. Home of the Krieger Commitment. Best cars, best people, peace of mind.
Columbus, the Blue Jackets schedule is out. And you can lock in your seats with ticket plans starting at just 11 games. Don't miss a moment of the action. Visit BlueJackets.com.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today This is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At CARE, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront cost before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. CARE Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Looking for bold flavors and award-winning spirits? High Bank Distillery Co. is your destination for handcrafted cocktails, locally inspired dishes, and Whiskey War, the nationally recognized whiskey. Whether you're going for brunch, dinner, or just a drink, High Bank brings the perfect mix of craft and comfort. Stop by their Grandview, Gahanna, and Westerville locations this week. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank Distillery Co., where great spirits meet even better company. Learn more at highbankco.com.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Are you still in your pajamas? We are. You're listening to Fan Sports Sunday.
Cheerleading saying straight behind center Carson Hinsman in a shotgun. He's got James Peoples off his right-hand hip at tailback. First and goal, Buckeyes of the go for 9. Sahan gets the snap out of the shotgun, fakes a handoff, lobs it into the end zone. Caught by Smith for a touchdown on a 9-yard toss. Jeremiah Smith came off the left flank, eluded his defender, got into the end zone and grabbed it. Second time the two of them have hooked up tonight. 34-3 Ohio State.
2 in a row there. Jeremiah Smith's second touchdown reception of the game last night. Again, 7 catches, 67 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Jeremiah. That gives Jeremiah 463 yards and 6 touchdowns through 5 games on the season. Cole, you and I were talking in the break a little bit, and we were talking about this game Ohio State has with Illinois next week. And I just have a weird feeling about it. Not that Ohio State is going to lose the game, but I just have a weird feeling about this game this week. Something weird, something wonky, something crazy is going to happen in this game.
So do you think that Brett Bielema unleashes the entirety of the playbook? Because I was thinking about this, and Nate said something a little bit earlier in the show. He said Ryan Day is at his best when he's aggressive, and that's why he supported the whole fake punt against Minnesota. My question becomes, does it count as aggressive when you're up 21-3 against Minnesota? Because it'd be really aggressive if you saved that for Illinois. Not to counter my own points from earlier about how, like, oh, I don't really care which opponent it's against. Again, I was arguing the score more so in a 21-3 game. But in that moment, if he's like, we got this, how about next week? Because, we're already up 21-3. That'd be a hell of a thing if you did it next week to kick off that game.
What is crazy, though, or maybe it was a setup, right? Maybe they did that to give Illinois something in their head and they do something off of that.
Perhaps, for sure.
Maybe that would be the aggressiveness there. I don't know. And listen, I'm not worried about Ohio State losing. I just feel like something...
Well, then what are you worried about?
Something weird is going to happen to this game. It's going to be closer than it should be. Like,
all right,
it's going to come down to the ender. I don't know. I could be crazy. I could be wrong. This game.
Well, I agree with what you
me a little bit. I don't know why.
I agree with what you said in the break, where you said this is Illinois Super Bowl, and I said, yeah, but you could say that for basically any team that's hosting Ohio State. You could say it for Purdue. You could say it for Wisconsin, and so you got to think that the environments are going to just be absolutely nuts at those places, especially at Illinois, because that fan base still is ranked. I'm sure that they have a lot of doubt in their minds after what happened in the Indiana game, not just losing that game, but losing it, 63-10, something close to that. And so in that position, I got to think, what's up, Adam King? I got to think that Illinois is going to throw everything they got, but if you punch them in the mouth and you put up a nice first quarter against them, I think that's where, at least, I don't know about the players' heads, but in the fans' mind, in Illinois', the student section, they're probably going to be a beehive to start that game. First quarter, if you're up 7, if you're up 14-0, if you really get on them early, that's where it's like, yeah, man, this is going to be the Indiana game all over again.
11 a.m. start for those students this week it's big noon in Champaign.
They'll be starting way earlier than 11.
Just want to run through what's happening in the NFL today. And right now, the Browns lose in London to the Vikings today, 21-17. The Colts improved to 4-1, 40-6. They beat the Raiders. The Saints got their first win of the year, 26-14. They beat the Giants. The Cowboys, 37-22 winners over the Jets. The Broncos come from behind and beat the Eagles. They score 18 points in the fourth quarter to win 21-17. The Panthers come from behind and beat the Dolphins 27-24. And the Texans hammer the Ravens 44-10. Going on right now, the Cardinals have a 14-3 lead over the Titans. The Buccaneers, a 6-0 lead, over the Seahawks.
Great uniform matchup in that one, by the way.
Very good one. Jared Goff has a touchdown pass to Sam Laporta, and they lead the Bengals. The Lions do 7-0, and the Chargers lead the Commanders by a same score of 7-0. Sunday Night Football, which you can hear right here on The Fan later tonight, has the Patriots visiting the Bills.
Whew, I'm glad I started Laporta, thank God.
Got that touchdown.
I did, and I got Goff too.
We thought Marv got us a touchdown, but they ruled him down on the one.
Yeah, I think Marv is fixed. I was watching that Thursday night game against Seattle, which followed the San Francisco game where he was just dropping balls that were like right in his chest, and it's like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, you were the number 4 overall pick. Like, you're capable of catching these, so catch these. And he had a slow start in that first half against Seattle. The second half was really good. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is fixed.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Cole, Nate, it was fun. The Gridiron Game Day coming up next right here on 97.1 The Fan.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show.